First tonight, has a piece of art ever stopped you in your tracks?
In a time where the world's information is in your pocket, it's a pretty nice feeling to connect with a piece like that. David Guilford recently saw some work that has shocked art experts and inspired many a road trip. He's here to tell us about it.
Hello. There are plenty of museums in Maine, but this story isn't about any of them. Instead, I took a drive to a town of fewer than 1,000 people, where there's a building that's just one of a kind.
At Colby College in Waterville, Professor Veronique Plesch is the authority on art.
These are all those chapels in basically what was the Duchy of Savoy.
The Swiss native has traveled the world studying, appreciating, and creating. Nothing hits her in the heart quite like frescoes.
To see a work of art in the very context for which it was created is quite special.
Fresco has been around for centuries. Artists paint onto wet plaster on walls. For Plesch, that's the true beauty. Frescoes can't be bought or shipped. The building is their frame.
And now you see those paintings in museums. And I've been known to say it's just like seeing an animal in a zoo. It's taking it totally out of context, and you're missing a big chunk of what goes with that work, what it was meant to be.
The art expert moved to Colby College years ago and was shocked to find what would become one of her favorite places on Earth. A 40-minute drive from campus.
That's a little better.
This is the South Solon Meeting House.
All sorts of good stuff there.
John Alsop from the South Solon Historical Society showed me around. On the floor, it's a well-preserved 1841 church, like so many beautiful buildings in rural Maine.
You walk in here and it's really not what you expect, because on the outside it is a very pristine, classical looking sort of congregational church style New England white church. And you go inside, and all of a sudden, it's not exactly the Sistine Chapel, but it's quite interesting.
Above, there's fresco in every direction.
Everybody who steps into that place is kind of flabbergasted, right? It's mind-boggling.
The building is in remarkable shape for its age. The original pews barely creak when you close the aisle door. And they're still numbered, as families used to reserve their seats, like season ticket holders.
So this is where they had the choir, and I don't think the organ works anymore.
More than 100 years after construction on the Meeting House, artists from the Skowhegan School of Painting and Sculpture were a major reason the building got its unique facelift. From 1952 to 56, they worked alongside a hand-picked group of painters from out of state, most of them young.
If you look around here, the artists that were commissioned to do the work were given instructions to, they're supposed to develop religious themes without knocking you over the head with it. But if you actually go around the building, you start at the creation here.
The Old and New Testaments are projected larger than life, but you don't have to be Christian or Jewish to get lost in it.
I am not particularly religious, but I love art, and I love the building. It's hard not to like it.
No, let's see.
Plesch fell so deeply for the Meeting House, she built a course around it at Colby and brings her students on field trips.
Nothing prepares you for what happens inside.
When you think about it, most frescoes were created from the beginning, along with their buildings. The South Solon Meeting House was built, abandoned, renovated, then renovated again over a 115-year period before this art was created for the public.
This goes back to 2022.
Now it is open to all, no assigned seating required. You can get married here, have your funeral here.
You can come up here by yourself, sit in a pew and meditate by yourself, or bring your family here, or bring your guitar and practice. The acoustics are great.
It might be the flashiest meeting house in Maine, but it's whatever you need it to be.
Now you might say, come on, we've seen images of stunning places like the Sistine Chapel, for instance. Fresco was perfected in Italy, after all. How could this Maine art really be that fabulous? I pressed the professor on this, and while the meeting house might not have the precision or scale of someone like Michelangelo, she said there's likely no other place like this on earth. It's a conservative Protestant church now covered in mid-20th century frescoes. She thinks it deserves all the love it gets.
It's a really cool place.
It's an extraordinary slice of Maine. It really is.
And you can, like I said, you can have whatever function there that you like.
207, 25th anniversary show?
Hey, there we go.
Think about it. Thanks, David.